In this video, we will be explaining every aspect of prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells.
First, we will be drawing a prokaryotic cell and describing the parts and what they do.
Second, we will be drawing a eukaryotic cell and describing the parts and what they do.
Lastly, we will be explaining the similarities and differences between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells.
The capsule is considered a virulence factor because it enhances the ability of bacteria to cause disease, which prevents phagocytosis. The fimbriae basically just allows the prokaryotic cell to attach to the target tissues of the host.
The flagellum drives cell movement. An example of this would be a sperm cell.
The glycocalyx is the outer coating of many prokaryotes, consisting of a capsule or a slime layer. The cell wall is a rigid structure outside the plasma membrane that gives the cell structural support. The plasma membrane protects the cell from its surroundings. It regulates the substances that come in and out of the cell. The ribosomes is where RNA is transformed into proteins. This process is called protein synthesis and is very important to cells. The nucleoid is a region where the cell's DNA is located. The nucleoid is not protected by a membrane. It may even contain RNA, proteins, and enzymes. The bacterial chromosome is basically just used to pass on genetic information.
The plasma membrane is selectively permeable and regulates which molecules are allowed to come through or exit the cell.
The purpose of the flagella is to make the prokaryotic cell mobile.
The microvilli is microscopic in size and increases the surface area of the cell. It is useful for absorption and secretion functions. An example of this would be the human small intestine. The cytoskeleton has three main parts: microfilaments, intermediate filaments, and microtubules. These reinforce the cell shape, function and cell movement, and are made up of protein. These very thin filaments serve a role in cytokinesis, movement, and changes in cell shape. Intermediate filaments provide support for the plasma membrane. The microtubules provide support and also shape the cell. They also function as routes in which organelles can move throughout the cytoplasm. The peroxisome contain enzymes that oxidize certain molecules. This reaction produces hydrogen peroxide. The mitochondria's main function is to make vast quantities of energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate. The lysosome digests excess or worn-out organelles, food particles, and engulfed viruses or bacteria. The Golgi apparatus sorts, packages, and modifies proteins for secretion. It also is involved in the transport of lipids around the cell and making lysosomes. Ribosomes make protein. The centrosome is made from two centrioles. It organizes microtubules and provides structure for the cell, and they also pull apart chromatids during cell division. There is a rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, which are both active in membrane synthesis and other synthetic and metabolic processes. The nucleus has three different parts. These parts are the nuclear envelope, nucleolus, and the chromatin. The nuclear envelope separates the nucleus from the cytoplasm. The nucleolus is involved in the production of ribosomes. The chromatin packages the DNA into volumes small enough to fit into the nucleus of a cell and protect the DNA structure and sequence. The central vacuole stores and breaks down waste products. The chloroplast converts energy of sunlight to chemical energy stored in sugar molecules. The plasmodesmata allows communication between cell walls and adjacent plant cells. The cell wall maintains the cell shape and protects the cell from mechanical damage.
Now that we have discussed the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, we can now move on to how both cells are similar and different.
To start off, the eukaryotic cell is much larger than the prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cells contain membrane-bound organelles like a nucleus. The shape of a prokaryotic cell is more like a rod shape, while a eukaryotic cell of an animal is shaped like an oval, and the plant eukaryotic cell is shaped like a hexagon. Although both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells have structures in common. Both types of cells have a plasma membrane, ribosomes, cytoplasm, and a DNA. Eukaryotic cells are far more complex than prokaryotic cells are, and are much larger. They have different and similar organelles in each of them that help carry out various processes.
I hope that you have learned about the many differences and similarities of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, as well as how each of the organelles work in them.
Peace!